My name is Selina, I'm 21 years old, and I'm a writer and storyteller. While growing up, storytelling was a big part of my life, but it wasn't called that. It was called straight up lying. I found that I lied about a lot of things for no reason, and as I grew older, maybe like when I turned 13, I realized that I could start focusing those energies more positively, and that storytelling and writing was an acceptable way in society to lie about things. So since then, I've become more of an honest person because I've been writing a lot more. Growing up, I read a lot of books, and when I realized that there was someone else on the other side of that, and on the other side of all these movies and TV shows I watched, I wanted to join and be a part of the other side, and I realized that writing and telling stories was my passion. What I love most about telling stories is being able to take everything that's going on in my head and all these images and thoughts and being able to put them down somewhere and leave them there. I feel like it's almost like a cleansing, and it feels very healthy for me to do that. I feel like it makes me less anxious, less worried about things, and it's like a cleansing process of everything that I ever think. My old projects were mostly centered around just fictional stories and mostly book type things. Recently, I've been working on my own personal website and trying to just tell my personal stories because I feel like it'd be really helpful to be able to look back on them in a few years and see where I was at today. So that's mostly for myself, and it's just a passion project. The start of my entire actual writing and putting it out there for people to see hesitantly was Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. Everybody else was reading Harry Potter, and I was here in a corner reading books about vampires. And now that I read it again, when I do once a year, I realize there are some problematic things about it, but I think the fact that it kind of kickstarted my passion for writing is still something that I thank her for. And then I'd like to, acknowledge all the people that helped me write and read. I used to post on a site called mibba.com, and that's where I started getting a big following for writing dumb little stories that everybody was so nice and so accepting and so welcoming of everything that I put out there that it only encouraged me to do more. If I could have dinner with anybody, I definitely think I would like to invite Oprah, maybe Ellen, just to kind of mix things up. But, two women who are media moguls, creating everything for themselves and doing whatever it is they want and still being so successful, I think is so inspiring. And to have even half of what they have would be end goals. In 5 years, I hope to be my own boss. I hope to be telling the stories that I want to tell and not be limited by what others tell me. I know that it's, a long road to get there, but hopefully I start to kind of forge my own path at 26. And, I hope to be happy with what I'm creating. My craziest ambition would be to have a movie of myself, about myself, everything about me, and then maybe an accompanying book. But I feel like although my story is not this big tragic drama and I've overcome incredibly horrid things, I feel like I do have a story to tell, and every girl can find a bit of her story in it. And if she can pick up a few laughs from all the crazy things I've done, that would make me happy. If I had an opportunity to talk to my younger self, I would definitely tell her that it's important not to question yourself, and if you want to do something, you should go out and do it without feeling self-conscious and feeling scared that failure might be the worst thing, because it's really not. I feel like what's worse than failure is not even trying and holding yourself back from doing the things that you want to do. The best things that I've ever done have always been just me pushing myself and not even stopping to think about, oh no, what if I can't do it? So if I just was able to talk to her, I'd want her to go for everything. Being a woman and being a writer and storyteller is really important because growing up in school, I feel like a majority of the things that we learned were penned by men, written by men, stories of men. And there's a really big gap in the number of stories that were told by women. And, you know, being a woman, it made me feel sad to know that my stories weren't out there. So now that I have the ability to write those stories and be a voice for girls, I think is a big responsibility. You know, we have stories too, and they're just as important, and connecting people through words is really powerful. And, you know, it's a responsibility that I know is great, and I'm really glad to have it. I'm Selina, and I'm a real girl.